Hello, my Capricorns. This is Damien with HK Readings, Healing Culture Tarot, and I'm here to do your end of May general love reading. This will be from about the 15th through the 31st of May, from Taurus to Gemini season. In this video, it's the 16th today. It should upload today. For those of you who may have been wondering, the videos, I'm still getting them out when I can, but I've been having like huge connectivity issues, or really just uploading. I don't know what happens. Like some videos just get clammed through the process. Like I was supposed to have Aries is up already, Leo's up. Would have been done with that element, and yeah, Capricorn's as well, you guys's, but I don't know what's going on, so I'm going to try to pump this video out for you, and hopefully there are no issues. Take these messages as it resonates. You hear this all the time, but it's something to be stressed. It's very important. And also, as the energies may be vice versa, you just realize that it could be from the perspective of the person that you're dealing with, the cross-watcher, you yourself, however. Okay? Now, this is also for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and or Jupiter. I include Jupiter in my readings. This is very interesting, though, what I've got here for you. Just to start off with, we're not going to get into the Goddess Guidance Oracle just yet, but we're going to do, now what I do is I incorporate the Chakra Wisdom as like initial oracle, and then we get through the Tarot and the Sibylla. Well, I didn't pull any Sibylla for you, so just Tarot. And then we go into Goddess Guidance Oracle. Now, it's what you have here with the Chakra Oracle cards. We have impatience and dissipating. So, let's talk about a new beginning, because I already see and intuit from these first two cards that that's what it's about, and the other cards lead to it. But let's just talk about this new beginning, okay? This new beginning with an individual. Now, this could be, for many of you, yeah, it's potential romance, potential partnership, potential love. For others of you, it is something more mere of a solid bond, a connection that is just platonic, but very passionate, okay, and very special. It's odd. Now, I'm looking back on the readings that I had done for you before, Capricorn, and it's kind of odd because I see what y'all were getting away from. The person who, like, you were just taking care of in every single way, financially, emotionally. When they get in the shit, you were cleaning up the messes. Like you were just the all in that situation. And you got tired of being used and abused and didn't appreciate the physical, emotional, mental wear and tear, right? But as you've been moving on from that, you've been doing your thing, getting yourself balanced and right, and definitely making sure that your stability is on point. Like definitely making sure that your money is no longer affected and you can find balance and kind of that whole thing. Maybe not so much as budgeting, but you being the sole set of eyes and hands on what's going in and going out, and using it rationally and sharing with those you care for and know actually aren't there to just milk the cow. But then you meet someone, right? Or there's someone in your atmosphere that you really like, and I think Capricorn, I don't know if y'all have engaged yet. For some of you, yeah, I feel like you have, but I don't know, because through this level of impatience here, the energy of impatience, it tells the story of how the man was so impatient for, sunrise or whatever. So he built this glowing artificial moon in the night, and the sky god came down and was like, "Hey, dude, actually, you just chill out. Like in a few hours, we'll have the sunlight. You'll have everything you need. It'll be vibrant, so on and so forth." He's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna hold this up here. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold this up here." Well, the only way it would stay up there is if he held it, and then when the sun finally did come, it was actually blocked by this ginormous, crazy fucking moon here that he constructed. So, yeah. But then we have the card of dissipation, which this imagery kind of makes me think of Requiem for a Dream, like the mom in that. But yeah, but it is kind of like some weird energy like that. In a sense, I don't know. It's like, I feel that you're impatient on something you're not acting on, because the dissipating card also talks about like being sure that you're doing what you say you're doing, or what you feel you should be doing, but basically just not giving, like these, living into these dreams or these kind of falsities, Capricorn. So it's like, okay, so there's something that you're ready to kind of go all into and like jump right in for, but at the same time you're not doing anything really, I don't think, to make that happen. Or maybe that's just extending to you showing that you give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? If somebody feels as though they may have been trying to get your attention, and either you're unaware of it, or you are aware of it, but you're not giving off that it affects you, or it affects you in a way that, tantalizes you. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really, it doesn't hit anywhere. I'm kind of getting a little bit of that. So it's really kind of thinking about what it is that you want. So when you are ready to come out that door and act, it's appropriate, at least, that's kind of like really the big message that we have there so far. Then we get into the Mirror of Disc and the Ascetic in reverse. So here's this action, okay? Coming out of suspense after, just being in a sort of limbo when it comes to having to make a decision, right? Because you're gathering facts, but you're gathering facts about yourself and your atmosphere, kind of similar to what the Hermit energy is. There's a lot of introversion there. But I feel that the Ascetic also, where the Hermit is usually turned and focused elsewhere, the Ascetic is definitely kind of like in the midst of everything whilst doing this. So you're taking in your surrounding, and that just kind of goes into coming out of that suspense and knowing what you want to do, right? It's still kind of being connected to and attached to your surroundings as you are within your indecision, or just trying to find that right answer, or what will bring the most sense of balance. I think it's just, it explains very beautifully like that, but I think it's also kind of like a duh, because like that duh just popped into my head. I was like, I just explained it like that, but I guess that's why that makes sense, right? So yeah, hey y'all, sometimes I duh myself, because I don't know. I think I think it's all good too sometimes, but because you realize just like how powerful those even duh moments are. I don't know. Then, okay, so when we have this decision that's being made, I'm trying to draw the energy of the Mirror of Disc in here. Y'all, okay, so for some of y'all, like what I got a strong sense of in meditation was that many of you this may be like a same-sex rendezvous, same-sex romance, same-sex interest, wherever it shall extend for you. And not that it couldn't be two females, but I'm feeling the presence strongly of like two males. So for those of you who that's the case for, I feel as though, ooh, damn, I feel like somebody's going crazy. And it might be you, Capricorn. I feel like, okay, so here's a scenario. Because there's something that's kind of like taboo about the two of y'all. Whoever, whoever. There's something that's taboo. So whether it's a homosexual relationship, male and male, or something else that just makes it taboo, or where people feel like they have to impose judgment or whatever the hell, I see it coming from that avenue, and it's almost like this person is, the Emir of Disc is kind of slow moving energy, the way he's moving to like give away that pinnacle. But this person is ready to extend to you the security that you've always wanted, the love you've always wanted. And like, though it may come through the perspectives, like societally, of like something being very different or taboo about it, it feels right. And I feel like this person feels like they can only move, so fast towards you because of the circumstances and maybe your reservations for whatever, reason they may exist. But you're both ready to take action. I think that like you may be feeling like you're giving off more than you are for them to take action, because and take this as it resonates, but I feel as though you may be looking for them to do that. Because, and like I said, vice versa if it applies, but you may be looking for them to do that to create more ease and balance around it. Therefore, you can just kind of like go with the flow. But I feel like they're just ready when you are. Okay? Like this Emir of Disc, I feel like has stopped moving. And then the energy of the ascetic reverse as it applies to them is they're here. And they're ready when you are. And they're patient. And you know the power and what they have to give you, what they're trying to offer you, right? But it just seems as though there's this challenge, that arises with the Princess of Swords as it goes into the Seven of Swords. I'm not feeling as though the Princess of Swords is like bringing a negative challenge, type of energy behind it. But when tied to the Seven of Swords and then leading to the World, it's just like it's going to be hard for you to let these constrictions go. Like Capricorn, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I feel like it's applicable, like to just know, okay, for example, one of the cards that represents you, one of the many, mind you, of course, one of the many that represents you in traditional tarot is the Devil, which in this deck is the Jinn. There's a certain rigidity and stubbornness within you, take it from a Taurus, because, we're all Earth, and I feel like that's just something that comes with the territory anyways. But it's to the point where, it allows you to accept things that make you unhappy. And to tie this into where you just came from, what you just got rid of, like, fuck that shit. You already know that, and I don't even have to tell you that. But just flash back real quick, Just flash back real quick and think about that maybe the key ingredient to the cycles of bullshit that you've had to deal with was the fact that you were not choosing to do what you already knew would make you happy. Okay? Because again, something is kind of taboo about the situation. There are people who may not approve. There's something to where like external feathers get ruffled, and it's something that has, a little bit of merit. with you. Because, I mean, hey, with anyone, like, we've all grown up with some shit we gotta kick based on, like, you know, there's at least 1% of us, and likely more, that gives a shit about what people think. Even the most people, you know, all those people running around, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, okay. But I think the key ingredient to when you look back at that travesty, that bullshit, that drama, that hurt, that pain, you know, it's like, hey, the key ingredient is I settled for this, and this. I'm gonna look back on all my relationships when there was likely something around, or I could have just worked a little bit harder, thought or something, one thing a little differently, and had that happiness. Okay? Like, what are you willing to sacrifice for it? Really, you just be sacrificing the opinions of others, not, you know, yourself, only to a degree in that example, you know? Because you know you'd be delivering yourself to something better, but you'd be sacrificing all the external perceptions of things. Yeah, so, you know, having to let go, the challenge being having to let go of all of that and come out of hiding into your true self, okay? And that's where the world opens up. And that's where you have freedom and movement and action. Because there's liberation, you know? And then this person, like I said, they're waiting on you. When you act, they act, right? I mean, if this showed up on the camel, I mean, here with my pinnacle, I'm waiting. What you gonna do, right? And then whenever you take the steps to get to the energy of the world card here, you know, kind of jumping over the hurdle, that is the Seven of Swords, because she's quick-witted. She's not only just about academia, but she's agile. She's like fierce, you know, she's holding that sword. She's training. She's got butterflies around her, transforming, because guess what? She's about to become, you know, a queen someday. Now, what kind of queen does she become from that? Because we know about the Queen of Swords, that's up to you. But getting over these hurdles, you could be the best of what that energy has to offer, right? And that's so interesting because then they come up as the Malik of Swords, the King of Swords, okay? So that's like the perfect couple there, the King and Queen of Swords is what we would have there. Because once you complete this task and jump that hurdle of the Seven of Swords to get to the world, you graduate, right? And look who's there to meet you with that action, that communication, okay? Bringing it in, calling it in. The bird coming to deliver the blessing from the ancestors, right? Delivering the messages, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Because they were waiting on this. But see, that's where y'all both, like, see, that's beautiful. Because the Emir of Disc is equivalent to, like, the knights or the princes. And, you know, you're both coming up as that same level within the courts, right? Well, one is definitely emphasizing stability. The other one is emphasizing stimulus. And I think that that's a balance that is much needed. I think that, like, energies need to oppose like that. So I feel like another beauty within that is how y'all will balance each other to come into essentially the energy of the same suit, transforming into the Malika of Swords to meet your Malik. So Goddess Guidance, we have White Terra and we have Hathor. White Terra is about sensitivity. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. Hathor, receptivity. Allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. I mean, in a nutshell, allow yourself to receive. Open up, okay? Don't clam up. Don't hide your feelings. Don't try to hide the love. Don't do none of that shit. It ain't gonna get you anywhere. You have to allow yourself to be open as you're working towards the energy of this world card, right? And all along the way, you're elevating your game, you're heightening your spirituality and your senses. Just look at the increase in every step of the way, okay? And realize that in sensitive moments where we are transforming, for one, we did make note of the butterfly imagery there. When we are going through such a time of coming to the next step within our existence, right? Our next cycle, the next levels, it is very sensitive. The sensitivity of birth, coming from spirit back into the flesh after reincarnation, and the exposure to light and just everything, that a child goes through. Like, for example, transitions are sensitive times. So there's a lot of care and nurture that has to be in the environment to ensure a smooth transition. When you avoid these harsh relationships, situations, environments, and chemicals, the chemicals is more so like, okay, yeah, watch your intake if you're a heavy drinker or you're a user of other things, monitor that. But I think as far as the environments and the relationships, you're staying away from that. The situations would be just to it's all of this is just striking me as a way of thinking to not miss an opportunity, which also ties back into receptivity, This is something you just can't miss. And I think that if you understand that these are sensitive times for you, for whatever you're going through in your life, because we go through many things and, at any given moment. We're not just out here focused on love. We have other real things going on. Whatever you're going through, okay? Acknowledge it and then create the environment for yourself to be unscathed, peacefully, Don't take yourself back to places or put yourself in situations that may be a trigger for you. Because I don't think you want to miss a beat for this. And that's what I've got for you. Till May 31st. Love you, Caps.